I'm going to go ahead and call this evening's meeting of the Clayton City Council to order. Please show that all members of the council are present with the exception of Council Member Dave Shuey. Please rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, move to the consent calendar.
Move approval. Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the consent calendar as proposed. All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed. Next item is recognitions and presentations. And this evening we do have one recognition and presentation, and it's to honor our outgoing supervisor of our maintenance department, Mark Janey. And I'd like to actually share some comments first and have Mark come up. Can't hide from us back there very long.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah. So I want to have a few comments and then let you certainly make some, and the council as well. Want to share with the audience that Mark has been with us now in the city of Clayton for 28 years, starting back in April of 1990 as a maintenance worker 2, and in 94 that was reclassified to maintenance leader by the then city manager Tom Steele, and then in October 2001 the interim city manager Bill Norton promoted Mark to his current position as maintenance supervisor, supervising Clayton's public works and maintenance department, which is responsible for maintaining Clayton's city buildings and landscaping, among many other things around town. So now, after working for the city of Clayton for 28 years, Mark is retiring, and this Thursday, May 17th, will be his last day on the job.
Yep.
Mark did notify us that upon his retirement, he's actually going to be leaving the area and relocating in South Las Vegas, where I suspect he'll be able to check out maintenance and landscaping of many of the golf courses in that area. So, hope so anyway. He's going to get a lot of leisure time. So, wants to see if the council has any additional comments.
I will.
Julie?
Definitely. Mark, it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty much the whole time you've been here, I have too. And I just have to say that with such a skeleton crew, you have done such a fabulous job of maintaining our little town and making it look better than anybody else. It's always amazing to me that with a crew about the same size as takes care of Ignacio Valley Road from one end to the other, you take care of our whole town. And you do everything from making sure Endeavor Hall is working and the lights are on and the air conditioning works, and you come over and light the stove for me when I've got an emergency at the last minute, and you're there to make sure the light bulbs are changed and the stairs get replaced on City Hall when they're getting a little too creaky and a little too soft, and all the other things that we badger you to do, from fixing the pipes up there at the ball fields, which seems like they blow all the time because this wonderful elastic soil we have keeps pushing and pulling on them and breaking things. But you know, it's phenomenal what you guys have done, and you are to be absolutely commended, and you absolutely deserve a wonderful, relaxing retirement. We will miss you, though. You will be very hard to replace.
Thank you.
But thank you
Very much.
My direct involvement with Mark comes from not only the concerts, but also when it's art and wine time. We got to put those signs up and get them updated to the new dates and all that, and he's always Johnny on the spot to help us do that. And also at the holiday time when we need the power down at the brand new Christmas tree that he brought in for us, and it's really going to be a good legacy for you, Mark, for what you've done downtown, and we thank you.
Well, thank you.
So we've only known each other for a couple of years. I can't claim a couple decades like Julie, but from the little time that I've known you, I've found you to be very professional, very knowledgeable. So I know Clayton will miss you, and I want to thank you for that, and just wish you best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark. I think you felt the appreciation from the council. And I also want to point out that you were also liaison with the Trails and Landscaping Committee, which was an additional duty that you performed, taking their comments and working with them and explaining how the city maintenance does actually work, and doing a marvelous job maintaining the area controlled by the Trails and Landscape District as well. So that was an expansion, really, of what you were doing previously, and you've done a marvelous job. So we want to certainly thank you, and to show your appreciation, we wanted to present you with a very nice plaque.
Mm-hmm.
And let the audience see the plaque here. And actually read what it states on here. It has a nice City of Clayton emblem. Get a city picture here.
Okay.
Want to hold that?
Got to put you
Okay.
in the paper.
All right. And the plaque reads, with sincere appreciation to Mark Janey, Maintenance Supervisor for 28 years. I bet it just flew by, didn't it? That's a long time to serve Clayton. Seems like you have spent your career here. So we appreciate it. For 28 years of valued service to the Clayton community from April 1990 to May of 2018. So thank you very much, Mark. As we indicated, you will be sorely missed.
No, not really. Just thank you very much. It's like you said, the 28 years have flown by. I don't know where they went. But it's been great working here.
Well, good. Thank you. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
retirement. All right? Good. Okay, next up, reports. We didn't have a planning commission meeting. We didn't have a Trails and Landscape meeting, so we moved to the city manager, Gary Napper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I just wanted to point out for everyone that the shovel on the plaque is the actual shovel Mark started with. And over the years, as water hit it, as he was digging in the trenches up there at Community Park, it shrunk over those years. But one of other Mark's infamous solutions for Clayton was the famous concerts issue of public restrooms not working properly. And he finally figured out that the number of people in the park during concerts did not equal to the time lapsed for the water to recharge the facilities. And so on the back of the public restroom in the park, there are two large water tanks. We might call those the Mark Memorial water tanks, perhaps, but it solved the problem. And since that time, we haven't had that difficulty.
You haven't heard from me every
And that was it. I haven't heard from Councilmember Pierce on the weekends. So the other thing is I just wanted to let people know that on evenings, because our maintenance crew ends at 3 o'clock in the evening, and that's just about the time people are returning home. And often in our community, that's when people notice issues. And they'll report them to City Hall, whether it's a water leak or others. And Mark inevitably would ultimately answer his phone after hours. I think sometimes he placed it in the furthest point away in his house, which is understandable. But he did answer. He was always, as was indicated, very polite. Okay, I'll take care of that. And he did. And that's remarkable that we could count on individuals like that. So, Mark, congratulations on a stellar career. We wish you all the best over there in the Nevada area. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Bring it up to council, to you.
Nothing to report this time.
Okay. Jim?
The only thing I went to was the concert last Saturday night. Was a great success. A lot of money raised and a great performance by Plan B.
All right. Julie?
Thank you. I had an admin and planning committee meeting at the Transportation Authority going over personnel issues and budgets. We attended, along with the mayor, I'll let him tell you about it, but I attended the mayor's conference in Martinez. It was a delightful event held at the Cobra Connection. If you have not ever been there, you really should go. If you're a car aficionado at all, the Cobra Collection is pretty amazing. Had 6 meetings of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. They're again going over mostly budgets. that is this time of year, so every single committee has to go over its assigned budgets. Attended the opening of the farmers market, which I suspect others did as well. It was wonderful to get cherries again, and the apricots and the peaches and all the other good things that are down there. It's a little small yet, but one of the reasons that the fresh vegetables weren't there is because the vendor who brings those in, his truck broke down on Highway 4, and he didn't make it. But he will absolutely be there on Saturday. So we have his assurance that the vehicle is now fixed. I attended the opening of the Pittsburgh E-BART station. The E-BART is not in service yet. That will happen on May 25th when the Antioch station is officially opened at 11 o'clock on May 25th, and there will be free rides for everyone that day. On May 25th, that's a Friday, before Memorial Day weekend. But the E-BART cars are absolutely amazing. They are very, very nice. And it's from the Pittsburgh station, which is at Railroad Avenue, next to Highway 4, actually in the median of Highway 4. It takes 5 minutes to get to the Pittsburgh Bay Point transfer station, and the train goes 75 miles an hour. This is going to be a huge benefit to the folks in East County. And when the one in Antioch opens, that's going to take quite a bit more traffic off of Highway 4. So that's going to be really wonderful. Also attended the concert in the Grove on Saturday evening. We had very generous donations. They appreciated Plan B. And we still have Hat Patrons sponsorships available. So if you're interested in participating that way and supporting the concerts throughout the season and get a wonderful hat, let me know and I'll hook you up.
Thank you, Julie. Busy as usual, representing Clayton, so we appreciate it. As Julie mentioned, we did go to the Martinez Mayor's Conference on May 3rd, and that's an event where the mayors from the County of Contra Costa get together and share common issues and talk about plans for dealing with many of the issues facing our Contra Costa area. And I did invite them all to attend our VFW Memorial Day event that's scheduled here in Clayton on Monday, Memorial Day, which is May 28th this year, and invite the audience also to attend that. It's a very memorable event every year where we honor the veterans. Also got an invitation if the City Council would like to set up a special presentation and a tour of the Black Diamond Mine Preserve. The East Bay County Parks representative was there and encouraged us to go and take in that nice tour. I did go to the actual opening of that tour, as I indicated a couple of months ago, but they've added a new giant staircase that goes deep into the mine now, and I encourage the audience also and the public to take advantage of that excellent new advancement for exploring further into the mine. And they've got some interesting exhibits set up there as well. So I'll be polling the council here to see if we should schedule that. Then on the 7th, I attended the Clayton Barbecue Cook-Off meeting. We had another planning meeting as we prepare for the July 14th event, which is sponsored by CBCA Club here in Clayton and will be held here in Clayton on that Saturday. Then on the 9th, I attended the the County Connection Finance and Administrative Committee, where we updated the budget for 2018, and that controls all the transportation buses in the Contra Costa area. And then on the 12th, helped open the farmers market. It was scheduled for a cabbage toss, where we traditionally toss out a cabbage to really start the season for the farmers market. But as luck would have it, the cabbages aren't quite in season yet, and we didn't have any cabbages, so we started a new tradition and had a nectarine toss. So we were able to open up the farmers market, and we had a good selection of vegetables and fruits, and even some breakfast foods as well were available there, and it was well attended. And this kind of feeds on itself. If we get a good attendance there, more vendors will show up and there'll be more to offer to the public. So I encourage the people to come there as well, and that's on Saturday morning at the KinderCare shopping parking lot off of Main Street, starting at 9 o'clock. It usually runs from 9 to 1. And then later that day, went to the Clayton Garden Club plant sale, where they raise quite a bit of money that is used then for their activities throughout the year, one of which is maintaining the planters on Main Street. And then finished off the day on Saturday attending with Julie and Jim the first concert in the Grove, and I want to again thank Julie and Jim for their efforts. They're instrumental in supporting that event. Jim helped set up the music, and Julie is one of the chief fundraisers as she goes around asking for donations. And that's one of the main sources of funding for the concert series, and it is free to the public. So that's the type of thing that keeps your council busy. So moving on then to public comment, and this is for non-agenda items. And this is where the public does have an opportunity to address the council on items that are not on the agenda. And I have a number of speaker cards for this evening. And I'll start with, and you are limited to 3 minutes to try to get your message across to the council. So Kathy Binge. Kathy, would you like to come up to the microphone, please, and address the council?
Good evening. My name is Kathy Binge. I live on 139 Regency Drive. I'm one of the original homeowners there, and it's a beautiful place to be. However, about 10 or 15 years ago, all of a sudden everybody decided to come walking or go hiking, because I live toward the end of the street where the gates open up to Mount Diablo. Now it's getting to a point where we can't even park our own cars, or we have family members that come over. There is no parking. We have elderly parents that come, so we have to get them down the street, drive them up to the house, and then when they're ready to leave, we drive them back to where they parked the car, because they couldn't walk all that way up to the house. And I tried to address the problem quite a few years ago, and none of the departments I have called was of any help or had any suggestion. And just a quick example, I have a family that lived 5 or 6 houses down from me, and then I was working at Wells Fargo 5 years ago, and she called about a lease car, and then I remember her name. I said, "Are you so-and-so?" And she said, "Yeah, I lived on Regency Drive." What happened was that they had to move. They moved to Colorado Springs because of the parking problem. And also with the noise and the littering, and for those that bring their horses, it's a mess and they don't clean it up. And same thing for dogs and whichever kind of pets they want to bring. And my other concern is the safety and security of the neighborhood. I'm afraid to leave the garage door open for any period of time. There's so many people coming and going. We don't know if they're actually just friendly walkers and hikers, or are they casing our homes. So that was one of my main concerns.
All right. Thank you. And this being a non-agenda item, the council can't take action, but we can certainly take that input and take it into consideration, the actions we can take in the future. Next up is Jeffrey Weiner.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Jeff Weiner. I moved to Clayton in 1979, and I've been at my current residence at 133 for the last 30 years. I moved from Meredith Court up the block because of its quietness, scenery, and ability of my sons to grow up riding their bikes, playing in a safe environment, and I love the area. I'm not sure I'd make the same decision today. I'm here today to present to the city a petition signed by the majority of the residents on Regency Drive and Rialto to establish resident-only parking, along with visitor parking, on Regency and Rialto from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Currently, Regency Drive does not offer the same quality of life as when I moved there. The street along with Rialto has become the parking lot for the Mount Diablo. We experience no resident parking once we leave, as Kathy said, no parking for guests or visitors, speeding, litter, unsafe driving, rudeness, and disregard for our personal property. This is mainly due to people who use our blocks as a parking lot instead of paying for the parking on Mitchell Canyon. The state is losing thousands of dollars because of that also. They should be interested in getting that revenue. These problems are due to the social and print media publicizing our blocks as free Mount Diablo parking. Our beautiful, quiet block is now a destination for park visitors. We're not against hikers' use of the beautiful trails. We are against the hikers negatively impacting the enjoyment of our homes and our neighborhood. What used to be a minor inconvenience is now a major deterrent to our peaceful enjoyment of the neighborhood we chose to live. I feel bad for the new families who want their children to have the same experience as I do. One of my neighbors across the street had to delay a birthday party to 6 o'clock because they couldn't have parking, and they were brand new to the neighborhood. They couldn't even have their 2-year-old birthday party then. We must delay our visitors, play musical cars, put up with speeders and related unsafe driving. We can't safely leave our driveways without the potential of being hit by a driver who's looking for parking. I grew up in New York. I didn't think I experienced the same thing here. There's a neighbor who said she's afraid to back down her driveway because she's afraid of getting hit. What really bothers me is seeing zip cars, rental cars, cars from out of state, and cars displaying resident-only stickers from other cities taking up our parking. We cannot park on their streets, yet they clog ours. I'm going to explain a little irony now. There's a Google site that directs people to Regency Drive to park. A top user comment is, and I quote, "Parking can be a little challenging during peak hours, weekends, mornings, and afternoons. The main road is packed. There's no dedicated parking, just street parking in the neighborhood. Well, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but try living here." Yet another one said, "Get here early for free parking," unquote. Yet another, quote, "I got here at 9 o'clock in December and didn't have problems getting a parking spot, but this area was much more crowded getting back." These are just few of the internet comments about parking here. It's every weekend, holidays, during the week, and it's 10 to 11 months a year, not a couple of days anymore like it started when I was here 30 years ago. We residents expect actions to these issues. Our problems in our streets is that it is the promoted parking lot for the park. We want to return to enjoying our neighborhood for the reasons we moved here. I'd like to quote the new police chief. Quote, "Clayton is a beautiful, safe city, and our police department strives to keep it that way. We have focused on addressing quality of life issues such as traffic, speeding, and safety. We urge you to allow the police chief to focus on these issues by limiting parking to residents and their guests for the reasons stated in the petition. It's a quality of life issue that can no longer be ignored." So I'd like to approach and present the petition. Signed by residents of Regency Drive overwhelmingly, and there's some pictures behind it. Signed by residents of Rialto.
All right,
Overwhelmingly.
thank you. All right, next up is Lori, is it Wren?
Right, yes. Good evening. My name is Lori Wren. I'm at 176 Regency Drive, which is the last house on the left in Regency. And so we have our fair share of people stopping in and creating a havoc for us. A couple of concerns outside of what Jeff said, because his articulation was about perfect. There's no sanitary facilities. There's no ADA access. There's no trash receptacles. There's no parking to support the guest level. There's damage to our driveways. There's parking violations. There's speeding violations. A neighbor down at the other end of the street watched her cat get hit and killed because of speeding from the end of Regency up. There's pedestrian violations. As you heard, a lot of people are worried about backing out of their driveway in fear of hitting a car. Well, how about all those hikers who just walk past your driveway without even looking to see if you're trying to back out? It happens day in and day out, and the weekends are just awful. They walk in the middle of the street. You honk at them and they look at you like you're a moron. I live there. I want to be able to drive down. I live at the end of the street, park in my own driveway. The Clayton Police has been great about coming up and helping us the last few weeks. We call, they show up, they ticket, but nobody cares. And a lot of the reasons why the people don't care is they're not from our area. They oftentimes are rental vehicles that are coming in because they are directed by social media to park on Regency Drive. It is totally unacceptable. I love to hike. I used to host 3 or 4 hiking events in the spring and in the fall for my friends and family. I no longer do so because unless I'm planning to start at 8 in the morning, and I like big parties, so I like to have probably 20 people coming over, unless I'm starting at 8 in the morning, they're parking all the way down by Marsh Creek, and that is ridiculous. I live there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up is Dr. Mark Montego.
Thank Thank you very much for listening to us. Mark Montillo, we've lived on Regency for the last 10 years, my wife and 3 daughters. I noticed in April of 2017 there was an article in Diablo magazine directing hikers to the end of Regency, and it seemed like at that point things got really bad. I think it was doable before then, but now it's just changed. I had a reef stolen off my front door. Friday night, we have to strategize about the cars and where they're going to be and sort of take up the space in front of our house. And then if one car leaves, it's right away, it's filled up with a hiker. And so then you have to walk 3 or 4 blocks with groceries or whatever you might have. And so that makes it pretty inconvenient. I found trash bags full of, I don't know what, hiking shoes, water bottles on the sidewalk in front of my house. Let's see, cars parked like 2 or 3 feet into the driveway on either side. That's common. And I think that the nuisance has gotten so bad that any of us that are going to sell our homes, we're going to have to report it to any potential buyers. So I'm not sure what it's doing to our property values. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd just like to ask a question of the last speaker. Could you tell me again the name of that magazine?
Diablo?
It was on Diablo magazine?
Yeah, it's in the
Okay.
April 2017 edition.
Okay, I just didn't understand you. Okay, thank you.
Next up is Beth Walsh.
Good evening, I'm Beth Walsh. I've been asked to represent one of our residents on Rialto Drive this evening. Quote unquote, these are some of the issues with the hikers parking on Rialto Drive in the past 6 to 12 months that we have witnessed and experienced. These are in addition to the summary and background on the petition. Hikers sleeping overnight in vehicles in front of our homes. Hikers leaving cars for multiple days and nights on our streets while on the mountain. Hikers urinating frequently in our yards. Dumping portable commode waste in the street. Excessive litter on homeowners' property and state property, water bottles, wrappers, beer cans, etc. Blocking fire access gate to park and double parking at the end of the street. Cleaning off muddy shoes on driveways, curbs, and kids' basketball hoops. Taking multiple bags of fruit from our trees without permission and leaving them bare. We thank you for considering our concerns on Rialto Drive. I'd like to also add that there is parking at the end of Regency. There is parking between Rialto and El Molino that is not blocking residential homes, and there is parking between Pitar and El Portel. I'd like you to consider maybe allowing that to be hiker parking, and perhaps considering that we have permitted parking for residents that would allow for guest parking as well. If you've ever tried to host a function for your child, for your family members, it is logistically almost impossible without the help of your neighbors to allow them to be anywhere close to your home on a weekend especially. While behaviors of hikers can't always be changed, certainly restricting their ability and potential behavior can increase the quality of our lives on Regency and the surrounding areas. We all love to hike. We all want other people to be able to enjoy. Mitchell Canyon has a parking lot. We'd like to support the use of that, or certainly try to figure out a means by which both Clayton can benefit as well as the residents on our street too. Thank you.
Next, Daniel Walsh.
Good evening. A lot of these things that you've heard, I'll probably be repeating, but since I have bullet points, I'm not going to edit them out. You've heard how some of these hikers are rude and inconsiderate. We've had issues with the hikers blocking our driveways. On several instances, I've had my driveway encroached on by about 5 to 7 feet. I've had hikers block my kids' cars in so they weren't able to leave. On one occasion, the hiker parked his car behind my son's car, driving his front bumper underneath the back of my son's car, lifting his back of the car up. Then he got out and walked down to go hike, blocking people in while he was doing it as well. My neighbor Sue here, she lives, what's your address, Sue? 158. She had somebody park in her driveway, blocking her driveway, and walk down to the trailhead to go hiking. When my neighbor Judy saw that, she pointed it out to Sue. Sue went and caught this person down before she got onto the trailhead, and the lady made a comment to the effect that, I'll only be gone 45 minutes, blocking her driveway. That's against the law, okay? So 2 weeks ago, on May 5th, Saturday, May 5th, my other neighbor, Jin Chan, who's the neighbor to the right, he had a car 7 feet in his driveway, okay? My wife and I were pulling up into our driveway, and there was another hiker parking between my house and Jin's house, proceeding to block another 5 to 7 feet. And I went out and I confronted this individual, and I told him, hey, you're blocking his driveway. He got out and he looked, he goes, well, he could still get his car in and out. That's the kind of stuff that we deal with. You know, these people are, some of them are rude, you know. We have issues with them parking at the red zone outside my neighbor Judy's house. They block that parking spot. That's where the fire hydrant is. Once again, against the law. Several times we've almost been hit when we're backing our cars out of the driveways, as you've heard from some of these people. The hikers are too busy trying to steal parking spots. They don't pay attention as they're driving down the street. As you heard, they leave trash. We've found dirty, wet socks on our lawn, trash, Gatorade bottles in my mailbox, trash in our bushes. They not only, you know, they're doing this stuff, but they're blocking the sidewalks after their hikes as well. There's groups of like 5 to 10 of these folks that'll just sit there outside people's house, lying down on the ground, on the sidewalk, lying down on people's property, on their grass, underneath the trees. This is just not the way that we should be living, you know. Some of these hikers are very confrontational. I had Lori's husband had an issue down at the bottom of the block with the group of hikers that were going 55, 60 miles an hour down our street, which is a dead-end street. And he took exception to that, and they got very confrontational. They pulled out their cell phones and they started videotaping. I'm a police officer, so he came up and asked me to intervene. I came down, and these guys had their cell phones in my face, and they were recording everything that was being said. All we want is just, you know, a little bit of respect, and we want the city to work with us. You know, we moved here 18 years ago, and we came here because of how quiet and quaint the neighborhood was. We rarely had any of these issues with the hiker. My daughter used to have a lemonade stand outside, and we would socialize and talk with the hikers as they were coming, because they were very respectful. But ever since CC Times and the social media has addressed the free parking at the end of Regency, and Yelp even has it, somebody out there put out, is the parking lot at the end of Regency Drive. Situation's just gotten worse. As individual neighbors, we've called you guys to look into this, and nothing seems to have been taken seriously. We as a collective group decided that it's gotten to a point that our quality of life is seriously being impacted, and we're asking that the city come up with some kind of a plan to help fix this problem. Thank you.
All right, I have one more card now for Ann Stanaway.
Thank you. My name is Ann Stanaway, and I'm at 1553 Haviland Place in Clayton. I've been coming here for weeks. I have submitted my complaints to the city, and you know what? I'm so glad these people came here this evening, because this is just another example of Clayton not even caring about the welfare of our citizens. These are public safety issues. What about ambulances? They can't get up on Regency. What about the police? They have a problem getting up on Regency. And what about the fire trucks? You live near Mount Diablo. It's just amazing. I have been threatened because I am complaining about this stuff of the fire lanes being violated, and the violators being, because they are friends of people in the city, they just get away with it. So I am here to voice my objection to the political patronage that allows this situation to exist. Thanks.
All right, that's all the speaker cards that were turned in. Is there anyone else wishing to address the council? All right? Well, thank you for the comments. The council will take that into consideration. Thank you.
Can I make
Julia?
one point? I have one question, maybe perhaps to Mr. Weiner, if I might, if you can come up. So I do often walk from here. I live in Regency Meadows, so I do often walk through that. I see in the cars. I don't think I realize the extent of it. I want to just quick question. So when is it most there? Is it mostly a weekend issue? Is it an evening issue?
It's a Friday. I mean, some of the people could ascertain, you put your garbage cans down on Friday because that's our block. They'll move your garbage cans. So I would say it's Friday, definitely Saturdays and Sundays, and holidays.
Holidays, okay.
Does it impact down the road on weekend, during the week? Sometimes, yes. I'm home now, I'm retired. So maybe that's why I took this on with Dan, because, when I worked, okay, I didn't have the time, but now after 30 years, I had enough.
Okay.
So yes, to answer your question, I think it's 90% of the problem is during those Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe Monday, but it happens all year, and the speeders and everything else. But the fact that you can't have friends or anything over is mostly those 4 days.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I do appreciate the citizens coming here and bringing this to our attention. I'm sure we can't take any action
And
today.
there's some pictures there too, and we'd
Okay.
be happy to.
We'll look at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. Next item then is public hearings. We have none. Action items, we have none. Council items. This is limited to requests and directives, future council issues. None at this time then. We'll move into closed session, and this is when the city council will be meeting in closed session, and this is under Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator, instructions to city designated labor negotiator, city manager, and for the employee association dealing with the Clayton Police Officers Association.